Have you ever dreamed of performing the most brutal, twisted, unnatural modifications to a guitar in order to create something so bizarre that it goes down in legends? I know I've dared to dream so bold.
There's a chance that we put all this stuff on the top and string it up and the top like starts to cave in on itself, in which case we'll just let it happen.
So there's this website, Temu.com, that sells extremely cheaply made versions of just about everything. I have no affiliation with them, but the other day I went a little bit haywire and bought a ton of guitar parts and accessories that I intend to use to modify this $115 guitar that I also bought from them. And I know what you're probably thinking, Sammy G, that's an acoustic guitar, and most of those parts would be for an electric guitar. But that's kind of the idea here. I'm gonna make as much of this stuff work with an acoustic as possible and turn it into the most horrible, sickening disaster caster of a guitar ever to grace this earth. And for the sake of doing a before and after, we should probably give this stiller guitar a bit of a rundown. My first instincts are not great. I've tuned it up and the open chords aren't in tune, which means the intonation is a total mess, and that's not an easy fix on an acoustic. The action's quite high, it's not easy to play, some of the frets are lifting up. I feel like the neck was too wide, so they weirdly shaved an angle off of it. And of course, the guitar wouldn't be complete without a number of finish blemishes. It's cheap, it's bad, never buy one of these, unless you're gonna do sacrilegious things to it, like we're gonna do today. Now, as far as guitar handiwork goes, I have minimal skills. There's absolutely no way that I could perform these unorthodox mods myself. So I'm here at the Beard Sale Guitar Workshop to meet my man Lucas, and we're gonna spend the day working on this project. Before we break ground, let me ask you something. Do you know how to play an open E chord? Of course you do, but did you know that you can take that shape and move it here, or move it here, to get these beautiful suspended chords? This is the kind of thing and much more that I teach in my new course, Elevated Open Chords. In this course, we look at a whole bunch of easy to implement tricks, tips, techniques, and methods that will add a whole new dimension to your rhythm guitar playing. Acoustic or electric, there are so many beautiful sounds derived from those simple open chords that everybody knows. But so many guitar players don't look a step deeper and will never find those sounds that will turn heads whenever you play them. So don't miss out. For one more week, you can get Elevated Open Chords 50% off when you use promo code LAUNCH50 at checkout. Find more information at samuraiguitartheory.com. I've also got up links in the description. Anyways, let's get back to it. This is the guitar here. It is a stiller. This was $115. And then this is the bag of stuff that we're going to attempt to put onto it. As much of this stuff as we can, we're going to try to work on at whatever means.
However possible.
Yeah, cheap and dirty. Let's see how much we can get done in the day.
We'll do like an appropriate style of work for the cost and quality of the products.
Okay.
Get to it.
Let's get to this. Now, the first step was preparing the guitar, coming up with a rough game plan and figuring out where to start. Let's go big first.
Okay, I like it. It's a disaster caster. We're gonna just go for it, okay?
So I think as far as things you should never do to an acoustic guitar go, we're in that realm.
We've passed the point of no return here.
It's in?
It's working.
Oh my God. It's beautiful. I feel like you're on a roll right now. Like I sense there's momentum going.
I'm getting pretty excited here. This is pretty fun. Okay. This is about to get really silly. We think, is this big enough?
Yep.
There's no way I've ever done anything this crazy. Not a chance. Look at this.
Oh my goodness. That's it.
We're making progress.
You think that's gonna affect the tonal quality from the sound hole?
We're gonna probably need a hole in the back just for some air movement.
Maybe we should just drill a hole over here.
We could.
Now, it should be noted that Lucas is the guy I go to for all my guitar-related needs. He'll go the extra mile to make sure things are done right, and every detail is taken care of. But for the sake of this project, quick, dirty, cheap was the way.
There it is.
This is coming together real nice.
Yeah.
You know, Lucas, I'm realizing as you're wiring all these electronics in that I actually have no idea if any of this stuff even works.
I'll just tap the pickups with a screwdriver.
Oh, yeah!
Tone works.
We're getting wins here. Electronics work.
Okay, that's good to know.
This is looking great. I think I want a sound for it. Just at least like a little hole on the side that's attached by a hinge that I can open up and put a microphone to.
Okay.
And you know, who doesn't enjoy watching someone who is so good at their craft put their skills to work? but being able to watch a luthier do something so blatantly wrong so well is like a strange, perverse, beautiful art. That seemed like it went well.
I think that went well.
And with that, a few screws here and there, some small finishing touches to get the piezo system up and running, a set of strings, minor adjustments, and the disaster caster was ready for its big reveal. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, a cheap Temu guitar, heavily modded by cheap Temu guitar parts. I can safely say this turned out about as well as I could have hoped. Let's do a little rundown and review of this thing. First of all, we weren't able to use all the parts. The roller bridge wasn't feasible with our time frame. We would have needed to somehow sink it down into the body for the thing to be playable. The colored strings were too short to work with the Bigsby, and there was an extra pickup that wouldn't fit anywhere. Besides that, I never ended up adding the pick guard or the pick holder. I don't know, I kind of feel like it's perfect as is, especially with the sticker lettering that I ended up adding later, which really just ties it all together. The acoustic guitar itself is still terrible, though it's significantly more playable after Lucas filed down the nut in the saddle, though it is now 10 pounds heavier. Now my trapdoor sound port here does actually add some volume when it's open. My idea was if you're using it as an electric, you can keep it closed to prevent feedback, and then when you want to use it as an acoustic, you can get some of that sound when you open it up. But what I didn't take into account was how much this thing gets in the way when you're playing and how much noise it makes as it rattles around. So in all practicality, I should take it off, but it was actually quite complicated cutting this thing out and keeping the piece of wood intact. So I'm kind of attached to it. It's gonna stay on for now. Let's get some sounds with this thing. Now, it was Lucas's idea to take the two single coil pickups, put them in the neck position, and wire them like a humbucker. Here's how this pickup sounds. Now, the humbucker in the bridge was supposed to be a P90, but this is what showed up. Here's what it sounds like. And on the acoustic side of things, let's take a listen to the piezo. Now, I don't love the sound of piezos at the best of times, and this one is especially bad. On top of that, the tracking for the tuner is super slow, and part of it falls off, but it was $13, so you get what you paid for. And finally, let's hear the natural acoustic resonance of this thing. First, I'll show you what it sounds like with the sound port closed, and then with the sound port open. I quite like the pink and skull knobs. I think that's a nice touch, but it is worth noting that the volume is actually more of an on or off switch. It's not gradual like it's supposed to be. It just cuts the signal out halfway through. The Floyd Rose nut is just there for looks. It's not doing anything. And the knockoff Bigsby is actually really quite bad. A proper Bigsby should naturally spring back into tune. This one gets stuck whichever way you use it, which means there's a friction problem somewhere. And when that's the case, you're basically stuck with a dead weight that messes with your tuning. And the last thing we changed was the tuning machines. They look fine, they stay in tune. I've got no issues there. So I did the math, and we have $130 worth of parts on a $115 guitar, $245 in total. not including Lucas's labor. Besides the cosmetic stuff like the pickguard and the knobs, I can't say that I would recommend any of these parts for anything besides a disaster caster style project. This guitar is still a mess. It still sucks, but it was a ton of fun getting it here, and this was exactly the experience I was hoping for. And even though Lucas was fighting his instincts the entire time performing these ridiculous mods on the time frame and budget we had set, I gotta say that the craftsmanship shines through. Like, this was clearly not jerry-rigged by some dude who was drinking all day. Given the limitations, I think it turned out really well. And here's the bad thing, which I probably shouldn't admit, but I kind of want to do this with good parts, because if this wasn't made from absolute garbage, this would be like a really cool hollow body kind of thing. So if you'd like to see that, or maybe we do a Disaster Caster 2.0 where we go even nuttier, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And remember, my new course, Elevated Open Chords, is on sale for one more week. Use promo code LAUNCH50 to get it 50% off. You can find more at samuraiguitartheory.com. Also, I've got links in the description. One more week, get it while the getting's good. If you want to learn more about what goes on over at the Beard Cell Guitar Workshop, I've got their links in the description as well. You can pick up some of that sweet Sammy G merch over at shopsamuraiguitarist.com. Picking up a t-shirt or a sweater goes a long way in supporting these kind of videos that require a bit of a budget. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, look after the planet, look after your guitars. Don't do this. I'm Samurai Guitarist, and I'll see you again soon.
Side cutters, just break this stuff off. No, that's too far for even this.